my fourth quarter business for you all. So one of the things that is going to be good for you to know if you don't know me is who I am. So my name is Kara Monique, and I am a serial entrepreneur. And in my most recent endeavors, I have become a business coach for women entrepreneurs, especially those in the e-commerce space and things like that. Hey, LaShonda, so good to have you join us. So one of the things I have really been passionate about is letting folks see the back end of the business. And the reason being is because folks often share their successes, they share their wins, but people don't know how they got there. People also don't get to see the failures or the work that has to happen for folks to get there. So this is kind of my trial run. I wanted to do a work along where folks could join me as I build out my fourth quarter. Now, I am a little late at building it out. Now, have I put some stuff in place already? Absolutely. 100% have put some stuff in place already for my fourth quarter, because fourth quarter, for those of you that don't know, actually starts October 1. So October 1 through December 31st is fourth quarter. So of course I did a little bit of stuff beforehand, but because I was a little bit behind just this year, this has been a very trying year for me. So I fell behind in some of my planning. This has been, the last couple of weeks have been my time to just pull it together and really get back to work. So I decided to kind of do some of my planning out loud for you all to see, and hopefully it helps you all. So a little bit more, I own a store called Faye Nicole, which is a shoe store that caters to women who love to wear stylish footwear, and I carry sizes 7 through 13. I also own the Crew Cosmetics, in which Crew stands for Cultivating Relationships That Empower Women. And the Crew Cosmetics is my baby. It is the way in which I celebrate my friends and the unaltered identities of women, and we do that through makeup. And then I also own Kara Monique LLC, which is the umbrella you all are watching me under right now. This is where I do all of my coaching, consulting, and mentorship. And I work with all types of entrepreneurs, but my specialty is working with women identified entrepreneurs. So I'm going to give some house and ground rules for today's session. So one, please use the comments. I'm 100% okay with pausing to answer questions. I'm totally okay with chatting with you all about whatever it is that you might have questions about. The other thing that I ask is, as far as housekeeping, is that you respect one another in this space. If someone asks a question, whether you know the answer or not, every question is valid. Every question is valuable in this space. People are at different stages and at different levels. Also recognizing that everything that we do today is from my experience and my perspective. It might not be the only way to do or achieve whatever goal it is that we try to accomplish today. But I wanted you all to kind of see what I do. I wanted to give you my tips on how I kind of plan and execute in a short amount of time for long-term gain. So just know that this is one perspective, my perspective only. All documents and content that I share today, I either created like out of my hard-earned time and knowledge, or I got permission to use. And if I use another document from someone else, I will be sure to give them credit. I will be working from one of my documents that I created as we work through this. And if you stay to the end, I have a super dope offer for you, of course, because what kind of entrepreneur would I be if I didn't share with you tools and resources that are going to propel you forward? So the first thing we're going to do is jump kind of right into what we have for today. So the first thing that I want you to know is that I have a quarterly planning toolkit. So this is actually a document, a PDF document that you can type into. I'm going to be using a condensed version of this today as we work through this presentation. This is what I use every single quarter to plan out everything I do. This has brought me in lots of money. Last quarter alone, I used it, and I told you all, I've been off. I did not do everything I was supposed to do last quarter. Life was a mess, and I still was able to profit $30,000. Not just revenue that came into the business. Profit walking away at the end of the quarter was $30,000. And that's just one of my businesses. So this works. It is It's amazing. I love it. And I'm super proud of myself for creating something that other people can use. If you use it today, if you purchase it while we're on this presentation, it's actually 50% off. So it ends up being like $13.50. And the code, I believe, is 4Q. I can't remember. I think 4Q live, but let me double check just to be sure for y'all what the code is. I'm gonna look it up because I want to make sure you all get the right code. But if you put that code in, it's going to give you 50% off of it, and it ends up being $13.50 for the resource. And we are working off of it today. So if you want to go and grab it now, I just dropped the link in the comments as well. So it's 4Q Live is going to be the actual coupon code, and I'm going to drop that in there too. And it's all one word. If you use Q4 Live, you'll get 50% off of that document. All right, so let's jump. Can you all see the comment? Did it show up? Yeah, I think it showed up. So, I'm sliding over. So let's hop right into it. So I am actually going to share my screen right now, and we are going to start doing some work because y'all, it's real. I just want you to know we're not about to play. It's about to be very, very real what we are about to do. So the document that I just pulled up is a condensed version of what I just dropped in the comments for you all. So you all are able to purchase the full version of it. So this is my condensed quarterly planning toolkit. There is a welcome message in here, but since we're live, I don't have to read through that. That is if you purchase this on your own and we're going through it on your own. So the very first thing that we are going to do is we are going to do some reflection. I am a firm believer that it is in order for you to know where you're going, or in order for you to plan for an appropriate and an effective growth or effective marketing plan or potential, you need to reflect on what you've done and where you've been. So I want you all to take a moment to reflect on what was your greatest achievement in business this year or this last quarter, and was it planned? So I am going to go ahead and type right into this document as well. And I'm going to put because I'm planning, remember, I'm planning my fourth quarter. So I would say that one of my greatest achievements in business, in particular the last quarter, was consistency. Oh, this is tiny. Let me make it bigger so y'all can see it. Consistency of social media. Uh-oh. My little light fell over. Social media engagement and posting. That's one. I'm actually going to do 3. I think I'm going to do 3. Increasing and sticking to a marketing budget. And I'm only going to work on Faye Nicole today. Of course, I have multiple businesses, but I am going to focus on Faye Nicole for the purposes of this work along. So increasing and sticking to a marketing budget was a great achievement for me. And then consistent styles available and proper sizing. So yes, all of these were actually planned. So that says a lot right there for me, having planned all of this. So the first thing I do, and I would actually do way more than this, I would do like a long list, but to save on time, I'm going to work off of 3 things today. So I reflect on like what was so great about it. I start to think about how I want to emulate what happened in the last quarter and bring it into this quarter, or what I might want to change, those kinds of things. So it's going to be super duper important for us to do this reflection. You don't want to skip this step and go straight into planning, because if you go straight into planning, you will not be as successful. I promise you, if you overlook what worked and what didn't work, you will still be kind of out here flailing on your own, and that is never a good thing. Okay, so the second thing that I do as part of my reflection is I list 3 things that work well for me in the last year or quarter, depending on how I'm planning, and how I carry them in, how I want to carry them into the next year or the next quarter. So those 3 things that I just listed as accomplishments, and the reason I listed them as accomplishments is because these haven't always been it. I'm actually going to keep these 3 since I'm working off of a time limit today. I'm going to keep these 3 as things that worked well. And then let's talk about how I would carry them into, sorry, my screen is jumping around, how I would carry them into the next quarter. There's an extra, what you call it? There it is. Uh-oh. Trash. All right. Okay. So how will I carry consistency of social media engagement and posting into the next quarter? So, a couple of things that I would do is I would say that I am going to go ahead and uh-oh, I am going to use a Planoly account. So for those of you who don't know what Planoly is, it's like a Hootsuite is another one. You can now use Canva to schedule social media. So it is a way for you to schedule social media posts out ahead of time. So I am going to use my Planoly account to schedule social media 30 days in advance. So that means that for November, I will plan November's content out in October. So I want to be 30 days ahead. And the reason I want to be 30 days ahead is because life happens. Also, I'm not running around like a chicken with my head cut off when it's time for a promotion to come out or something like that. And I'm able to be more consistent with my customers. So I'm going to use Planoly. I am going to do a photo shoot each week for 3 weeks to gather all content for the quarter. Now, remember, in a realistic world, I would have been planning this last quarter for this quarter. So since I'm a couple of weeks behind, I might even adjust that. Instead of doing a photo shoot each week for 3 weeks, I might try to get in 3 photo shoots in a week or 2. And when I say get all of my content for the quarter, I'm talking every holiday, depending on if I want to if I'm going to do any Black Friday promotion, if I'm doing Thanksgiving promotion, if I'm doing Cyber Monday, Green Friday, Small Business Saturday, Christmas and Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, whatever holidays I am doing, I'm going to be shooting all of that content in kind of 1 to 2 swoops. Because what happens is when it's time for me to plan out that social media emails, all of that, easy to do. All I got to do is drop those photos in there, opposed to every other week I got to go and do this photo shoot and do this and do this and do that. You want to have your content readily available, and also you create graphics, or at least I create graphics to go with my branding. So that I need to have my pictures ahead of time for that. So that is something else that I would do to carry the consistency of social media into this quarter. I would also be planning out Reels and IGTV content, because we know that being live is so important now. And something that I want to add this quarter for social media is I am going to do live selling, because live selling is almost mandatory now. So I am going to, my plan is to go live at least twice a month on Facebook and IG and sell products live. So I'll give you all, like, one of the things that I'm planning right now. Is there a way to see the screen you're typing in? Oh, you all can't see this screen? I am so sorry. Let me push it. Forgive me, y'all. I thought I pushed it live. So let me push it live. Um, Okay, can you hear me? I don't like seeing me is minor. I don't need you all to see me. Can you still hear me again? I'm gonna take a pause because it's a delay. So I gotta look at your comments. Oh, you can't see or hear me. Okay. Okay. So okay, so now you can hear and see me. Perfect. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. See, I told y'all at the beginning, I'm running the show myself today. Hot mess. This is why your team should run your show. But anyway, I'm running it by myself today, and that's okay. So with that, plan out your production schedule. And this works for everything, not just like I sell shoes. I see Monica Beasley's on here. She makes cakes. You can go live and you might not want to do necessarily a full tutorial, but teaching people the difference in using or when they're ordering cakes, being realistic. You want this design, but you want with frosting compared to buttercream or whatever that looks like. Whatever your industry is, you can go live. Period. You can, if not you, you can have a team of folks. You can bring somebody on that's really good in front of the camera, but don't miss out on this holiday season being seen. You need to be seen. People are going to be thrown so many things, especially because folks are going to be shopping virtually a lot more this year than ever before, just simply because of COVID-19. So recognizing that that's going to be major for you all. Okay, so I need to plan out a production schedule. So you see how not only am I writing what I'm going to bring into this quarter, but what needs to happen with that. And in my production schedule, I'll have a timeline of the days and times I'm going to go live, when I want to promote it and how I want to promote it, and then what things will happen during that actual show. So just want to let you all know that that's what that would be. So I would probably even dig into that a little more, but let's keep going for the sake of time. So increasing and sticking to a marketing budget. So I'm going to bring that into this quarter. I hired a marketing firm. Not a marketing firm. I hired well, yeah, it's a marketing firm. They focus mostly on social ads, though. So I hired a marketing firm, and I'm going to keep them this quarter. And I am going to increase my ad budget. So I spend around $4 to $5 grand a month on ads. And I have a financial goal this quarter of 50K. So I am going to increase my ad budget to probably around 10K a month. I'm going to look at my numbers and see if I can do 10K a month. So I want to increase my ad budget to 10K. And the reason being is because my ROI has consistently been around 2.1%, which is really good, which means that I will more than double my money if my ROI continues to be the same. So spending 10K could easily bring me in 20K just from ads. Now, remember, I still also have email marketing. I have organic traffic coming from my social media sites, and I'm also going to be doing live selling. And I'm setting a goal. I'll talk about my financial goal for live selling in a little bit as well. So that's something that I'll bring in. Something that needs to happen with my marketing /marketing budget. I am going to need to produce video content around different audiences. So the one thing you want to do, not only in just fourth quarter, in every quarter, but in particular in fourth quarter, is you want to cater your advertisements and your hey to everybody that just hopped on. Make sure you say hi so I know who's here. But you want to cater your advertisements. Everything you do needs to be strategic, and it needs to touch a certain customer. Don't just put out a blanket ad for the entire year. If the holiday is coming up, be bold, be brave, put out that Black Friday, run that Black Friday ad for 2 weeks or whatever it is, or run that Cyber Monday ad to get people excited for what's to come. Do some type of pre-sale ad. Put your product on the screen. stagnant photos are no longer going to work. People's attention spans have to be grabbed because one, people are spending all day on virtual meetings. Folks are engaged in platforms like TikTok. People are listening all day on like Fanbase and all of these other platforms. You have to attract them in a very special way. And one way to do that is to create actual content that's catered toward them. Videos with actual words, with movement, those kind of things. So some ideas that I have for myself that I'll throw out to you all is I'm in the product-based space for this particular business. One of the things that I'm going to do is I am going to have a video where it's a customer experience, someone actually receiving and opening their package. What does it look like to receive a Faye Nicole box in the mail? When you open it, a lot of people don't know my shoes come with a dust bag. A lot of people don't know that I use a styrofoam packaging opposed to tissue paper. Not for any type of styrofoam is not more economically feasible. It's not more sustainable or anything like that, but it's to better protect it. That's the only reason I use it. Does my company run off sustainability? No, that is not one of my pillars at this moment. But my company, a high level pillar for us right now is luxury and appearance. So knowing that when you get your shoes, you're not going to be unwrapping a whole bunch of tissue paper. You're going to open it up to a pretty clean box with a styrofoam layer that's protecting the integrity of your shoe. And so folks might not know that. So I recognize that education around my brand also brings trust, and that brings loyalty. So I'm going to do a video like that. That's one of the thoughts. So for those of you in the product space, you can do something like that. Those of you in the service space, I am also in the service space as well. I am going to run an ad where I am literally doing a frequently asked questions, dispelling myths about women in entrepreneurship. What does that do? It brings relevance to the industry, shows my knowledge, and then also shows my personality, because when people work with Care Monique LLC, they are working with me. I am the person that they are working with. So just wanted to let you all know that. Sorry, I'm getting notifications, so I just want to make sure I'm not missing comments. Okay. So that is something that I do. And then the third thing on my list, consistent styles that are available in proper sizing. So I, of course, want to bring that into fourth quarter, because what I've run up against being a small designer is that I have more demand than I sometimes have capacity. My warehouse is not very big. I have a home-based warehouse, so I can only carry so many styles at one time. So even though my inventory might move fast, the literal shipments coming to my home location is not feasible for me to be climbing over boxes, or for me to force my family to live climbing over boxes constantly. So I make sure that I order in quantities that can be accommodated in my mini warehouse. But with that being said, if I know I'm going to be able to push more inventory as my business grows, as if I know that I've increased my ad budget, and I know that, if my ROI is now going to be double or whatever that looks like, I'm going to be accommodating for that. So maybe that means that, I'm renting like a pod or something. If I'm not going to move it necessarily in October, it might not move to December, but I want to get it here from my manufacturer so that there's no wait period for my customers. So I have to think strategically about that stuff. So ways that I'm going to do that, I'm going to hold my manufacturer accountable for deadlines and production numbers. Another thing that I want to do this quarter that I haven't done previously is I want to build a relationship. I'm not spelling very well, y'all, and that's okay. I want to build a relationship with a shipping company. Reason being is because shipping costs a whole lot when you purchasing shoes. So not necessarily the shipping company, me shipping to the customer, me actually getting my shoes from my manufacturer can be pretty pricey. And of course, that price is translated over to the customer. And I'm not in the business of increasing my prices just to increase my prices. It has to make sense. For my customer, I don't want to just sell a $500 pair of shoes because I feel like it. That doesn't sound integral. to me. So if I can, if building a relationship with a shipping company this quarter will help me decrease my overall spend cost so that I can translate that into a better price for my customer, I'm going to do that. So that is another thing that is about a part of my plan as far as consistent styles and being available in the proper sizes. I'm also going to run a focus group for wide and narrow widths for fourth quarter, even though this isn't necessarily going to make me money in fourth quarter because I don't sell wide or narrow widths. These two widths have been, I mean, when I tell you women have been begging me to make these, I'm going to create a focus group this quarter so that my spring 2022 collection can include sizes for these young ladies. So that is another thing that will help me provide consistent styles and proper sizing for this, putting that in this quarter goal. Because remember, planning ahead is always a good thing. So let's move forward. So the last part of reflection that I do when I'm planning out my quarter is I'm honest with myself. I think about what did not go well and how did I feel in those moments? Did I learn something? Was it challenging? Did I feel like I lost something? So I am going to share one of the things that I felt didn't go as well is putting my shoes in a physical store without proper promotion. So my shoes are in a store in LA and they're selling, they're doing okay, but there's no real promotion around it. And that was not my thought process when I did that. It's a whole nother world. I'm so used to promoting online, go to my website, but to get folks to go into a store is a whole nother layer. It's a whole nother level. So that's something that didn't go well. I kind of did it and didn't realize that I was going to have to move into a different production structure. So I would say that that is one thing that did not go well. I felt very defeated when I realized my sales were moving a little bit slower, even though I was recovering that my numbers still, because my online business was doing really well, but I still, I was paying attention to that and I felt pretty defeated in that. So something else that didn't really go well, I would say this quarter was timing of launching boots. So I really wanted to launch my new boots last month, end of September, when fall first started. I won't be able to launch my boots until end of this month. They're going to launch in about 2 weeks. So that was a little bit my fault, a little bit my manufacturer's fault, a little bit of both. We had a little bit of there wasn't a lot of clarity around materials. So after they did my samples and my prototype, I switched the materials. They used the PU material on one of the boots and it was a suede. And I was like, I don't really want suede. I want, a faux leather. So that put a little shift in everything, even though the design stayed the same. They had to source the additional materials that I wanted. So the timing of launching my boots didn't go as well. And I felt like I learned time management and clarity of messaging from that. Because I think I shared it giving them kind of free, I've been working with them for years. Do what you want. What do you think is best? And then they produced suede and I was like, suede wasn't it. They got to me and I was like, they cute. But this suede, I don't like it. So that was something that I think I learned in that. So I wasn't really upset or anything, but I learned that that impacts my timing. If I don't do everything before the sample or prototype is made, I have to wait to examine it and then switch everything up. Or run into issues where that happens. That's never happened before. So that was pretty new to me as well. So those are a couple of things that happened. So after I do reflection, the next thing that I do, so if you buy the book, you'll see that there's a little thing there where I talk to you about this next section. So the next thing I do after I reflect is I begin to clarify my goals and what it is that I'm trying to do for this quarter. Because I always plan in quarters. So this is not untypical for me. I always plan in quarters. So I plan first quarter at the end of fourth quarter. So around end of November, early December, I start planning out my 2022, beginning of 2022 year. So, what is your business and whom does it serve? Be as detailed as possible, especially about your customer. So, I'm not going to go into this right now because I know my customer pretty well, but I just wanted to make sure that you all know you need to do this, especially if you feel like your customer might have changed, especially if you feel like you're still finding your customer. Some of you aren't making sales. And let me know in the comments how many of you are product based business. Somebody said, "What about both?" Because there's a delay on my end, I don't know what I'm answering. LaShonda, tell me, put fully what you're asking. What about both? Put a full sentence so then I can come back to that. But go ahead and tell me in the comments, those of you who are in the product-based, if you're a product or a service-based business, and tell me also, have you been making sales? Like, are you where you wanted to be, or is that why you're here today? Because you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm going to take a pause because I know there's a delay and let you all comment. I don't want this delay to be too long on y'all end. So I'm going to keep going and then I'll come back to the comments if I see any pop up. So being very clear about your customer, being very clear about who you serve is going to be vital for you. So you want to write out everything about your customer or who you think your customer is, because that's how you'll test your market. Those are the folks that you'll try to reach with your branding, with your messaging. And then if that doesn't work out, you start to pivot. You say, oh, well, I thought that my customer was women between the ages of 35 and 40 who had kids. And then you realize, actually, that's too old. It's really the 25-year-olds with babies who want, maybe you sell some type of baby food and your product, you're saying, actually, it's the 25-year-olds with babies, 20 to 25 who are looking for this ready-made baby food. The older moms are not. So then you're able to adjust your things based on that. So I see the comments in here. Not where I want to be and know I can do more, but need help. Yep. Totally perfect. Sales have slowed down and it's really discouraging. That is a very real thing. It happens to all of us. And that's when you need to get back to it, repivot, readjust. I just wondered if you thought about leather and suede or mix. Just a question. Oh, yes. So I have styles kind of that I've had made that were a mixture of things. But this particular boot is a clean cut, one solid boot. The detail on it is a chain. So I didn't want too many textures with the chain because it's a chunky chain and it has the Fainaco emblem. So that was my focus point, was a clean look so that could pop. So that's the reason that I switched from a suede to a faux leather. And also the color choice. The color choice that I chose in suede was not a good color choice. So when they switched it to suede, when it was faux leather, it was really good. But anyway, so that's kind of that. Thank you for asking that question. So I'm going to skip over this part because it'll take forever for me to write out my customer. There's so much about my customer, but you want to ensure that your customer really matches your business model, and everything you're doing to plan your fourth quarter. So the next part of clarifying for this quarter, you want to talk about what is your role in your business this last year, this last quarter, and how did you do in those roles? So I don't know if any of you have ever read the book, The E-Myth. So this book basically talks about how all of us in business, when we start out, basically, we all have these 9-to-5s. We go to work and we're like, ooh, they tell us what to do. We learn their systems. We're able to execute it and we're excellent. Then we get hit with the entrepreneur bug, and the entrepreneur bug goes, hey, start your own business. You start your own business, but you're starting a business thinking you're a CEO when all you've ever been is what we call a technician. And meaning you've worked for somebody else, you've learned their systems, their processes, their policies, their way of life, and then you come over and you try to run your own brand thinking that you know all these things that you might not necessarily know. And what we do is we end up being the technicians in our brand new business, this entrepreneur world. So I am actually personally on a 60-day DIY business journey. So I am using the next 60 days. I'm about 4 days in. I'm using the next 60 days and I am being 100% hands-on in my business. Everything that I can do for my business, I'm doing. But the reason being is because I am ready to hire a team at the top of the year. So I want to hire my weaknesses. So I'm doing my own photography, my videography. I'm doing my own emails. I'm doing my own social media because I'm trying to find one of the things that I'm good at, also my flow of things, also what I hate to do, because there are things you just don't like to do, and who do I need to hire, in what order, and for what reason? What expertise do I need to put on my team now? So that is something that you all need to think about. So knowing that, for me personally, I play every role in my business as of right now. This last quarter, the prominent roles relevant to the three things that I mentioned above, I was my own photographer this quarter. I was my own bookkeeper. I use bookkeeping systems though. So I use Wave and QuickBooks. So those are two. Wave is actually free. It's not hard to use, but it takes some getting used to if you need a free bookkeeping system. And then of course, I also use old school spreadsheets, and we're going to bust one out today. I'm going to show you a Breakeven and projection spreadsheet that I use that you all will be able to kind of get an idea of how to run numbers, because that's going to be super, super vital for you all. Looking at the comments. Okay. So I was my own photographer. I was my own bookkeeper. I was my own packaging and fulfillment, customer service. I handled the majority of my emails and all of the things customer service wise this year. I did my own contracting in terms of like getting deals for stuff, working with manufacturers. I have a 10-year NDA right now that I worked on last quarter with my manufacturer, that all of my styles and designs will be solely mine for at least 10 years. They can't sell my last or my designs. So I've done quite a bit of stuff. And how did I do in these roles? So I'm honest with myself. I am a decent photographer that's not how you spell that. I'm a decent photographer for quick and simple promo content. I am not good for long-lasting content, for ads that need to be perfect. Not good at videos at all. Videos are my pure weakness, but I would never have learned that had I not tried it. Bookkeeping, I'm good at managing weekly numbers and overall analytics. Need help consistently organizing and assigning expenses. Y'all, one thing when you start making money, you gotta tell money where to go. You gotta give it a name, give it a place, all of that. You do your own marketing. I do my own marketing as of right now. And then customer service, I'm really good at emails and policies because I have my policies in place ahead of time. So I'm able to execute those and kind of send those out to customers. And my contracting, pretty good at that. As I move forward, I am in the trademark process. So I will be bringing on a lawyer for larger contracts and those kinds of things moving forward. And the reason that it's important for you to clarify the roles that you play in your business, because you want to be honest. Were you one of the reasons your stuff didn't sell? Were you posting pictures that were bad? Were you posting comments or captions that they just did not resonate with your audience? Were you inconsistent? You need to know that stuff. Did you make money? You don't know because you are keeping your books. A lot of people, I run into a lot of entrepreneurs, especially women entrepreneurs. I'll ask them, I'll say, so what's your pricing model? Well, I just double what I pay for it. That's not a pricing model. Does it work for some people? Yes. But is that your goal, to just make double, like put half back into your business and then keep the other half as profit? Because if that's not your industry's standard, then that's not a good profit margin. That's not a good measurable place to be from. So, and I know lots of folks who do it because they feel like they sell, they buy something for $20, so it makes sense to sell it for 40. Think about the quality, the time, all the things that go with this product. Is this a product they can wear or use multiple times? Does it need to be replenished? Is it something that takes a lot of care? Is it a luxury item? You don't just double it because doubling it sounds like the right thing to do. Actually look at your market. Now, if your market calls for just doubling, totally fine. But I hear so many people use that as their standard. There are formulas. So those of us in the retail space, especially the fashion space, it's the cost of goods times 250%. If you're high end, 300 and 400% on top of whatever the cost of goods was, that becomes your retail price. It's not just double. I wouldn't dare buy a pair of shoes for $20 and sell them for 40 because of everything that went into the production of that. I am a designer. So yeah, the shoe might have cost me, and none of my shoes cost $20 to make because I use a higher quality material, but I'm giving easy math. If I pay $20 for a shoe, that's just materials and stuff. I didn't account for all the time, the tech packs that had to be created, the collaborations, the swatches that I had to go through, all of the things that happened before the production of that shoe is made. I need to put that in the price of that somehow, some way, because at the end of the day, I need to be paying myself. I have to make money in my business. Oh, okay, y'all answering each other's questions. Great. So that is something else that I do in the clarifying stage. And then the last piece that I do when I'm clarifying before I move into going ahead and start planning is I consider any successes and challenges that the roles I played in my business this year, what will I keep from them and what will I change? So I'm just going to say those out loud. So I'm going to keep for the next 60 days. Remember, I'm going to keep doing all the things I was doing, and then I'm going to reevaluate to see what I need to source out, how I want to build my team, those kind of things afterward. But ultimately, I know for a fact I am going to be bringing somebody on to manage my numbers and my bookkeeping, that kind of thing. I know I'm going to be bringing on a videographer at some point, probably, because I don't like doing videos. It's a lot. Live, I love doing live stuff, but recording and editing and all of that, I'm not the greatest at that stuff. So that's something that I would do in the clarifying stage. So let's go ahead and move into actually doing the work. So one of the things that I want you all to think about is having goals for your quarter. Now, most of you have financial goals, and that's it. You should have more than just a financial goal for your fourth quarter. So, and I think that your goal should be smart. So thinking about fourth quarter, I'm going to say my first goal is to make 50K from selling boots and new handbag collection. Now I can make that goal smarter, but just space in this paper, we're gonna go with that. And what would be my step? My very first step, for me, the first thing I think about to make 50K is enough inventory for the demand. Because what happens is people set financial goals and they don't even have enough product to accommodate it. People be like, I want to make $20,000. And they have $8,000 worth of inventory. How are you going to make $20,000 on $8,000 worth of inventory? Making sure you have enough inventory, whether that's pre-selling it, whatever, you need to make sure that it makes sense. And then let's say my second goal for this quarter is I want to increase my email subscriber list by 2,000 people. Actually, I want to increase it by 2,000 women in sizes 11, 12, and 13, because that's my primary audience. So I would actually be that specific. Like I want 2,000 new subscribers who want like I'm going to be their go-to. They can't shop almost anywhere else. So my first step in that I think would be to do a personalized ad targeting these women on social media. Now, of course, there are other steps that are going to happen, but that's my first thought when I'm thinking about this goal. And then let's say my third goal for this quarter is to increase social media engagement, in particular, Facebook Live by 30% compared to this time last year. So maybe that's another goal. And maybe the first step for that would be to consistently go live on Facebook. So that is the first thing I do is I get 3 tangible goals in mind for the quarter. And you can do 5. I don't recommend doing more than 5 because one of them will probably more than likely be financial, which is great for you. One of them should be relevant to some type of engagement or increase in engagement for brand awareness. Another goal should ultimately always increase your subscribers or your audience count, whether that be on social media, or I personally think you should grow your email list because social media you do not own. It could go away at any point. So we know that just from the other day, Facebook and Instagram were down. And if you weren't able to send out an email, you missed out on a day's worth of sales potentially. So that would be one. And then another goal that I typically always have is something related to my products. So whether that's launching a new product, whether that's increasing the sales around a product, or teaching folks how to use a product in a certain way, those kinds of things. So that's the next thing that I do. And then from there, I'm just going to do one of these, but you want to do this for every single goal you have. You want to write down every step, person, resource, detail, everything needed to achieve that goal. So my first goal was to make $50,000 selling boots and new handbag collection. So the steps that I'm going to need to take is I am going to need to look at boot and handbag inventory, ensure I have enough to make the 50K off of them. So I am going to need to discuss timeline of manufacturing with manufacturer. I need to look at my shipping deadlines to get the products to me. I'm going to need to look at space. Think about how long will it take to move the product. I sound like the drug dealer, don't I, y'all? Move the product. So think and remember, a quarter is 3 months. A quarter is not just, so I'm not saying I want to get this inventory in and I want to sell $50,000 in 1 month. That would be great. But I'm thinking over 3 months. So I have to have space for this stuff in some kind of way and how I'm going to be pushing it out. So another thing to think about with that is holidays in each month. Promotions / sales that I'll be running that'll increase the ability to sell and bring light to that. Handbags are new, so I am going to need a photo shoot just to promote new handbag collection. So that is one photo shoot just to promote the new handbag collection. What else will I need? So I'm going to need a marketing plan, of course. We talked about that a little bit. I'm going to need to create graphics for the holiday, for the seasonal product. So recognizing that, yes, I can sell boots all year long, but if I'm really looking to sell boots intentionally this winter / during fourth quarter, then I probably should create some graphics around the seasonal products. So I probably should create some graphics around how to wear them in fall, how to adjust them for snow or winter wear, or how to store them properly, that kind of stuff. So I would literally just kind of go through, and I would actually make these way more smart in terms of that goal. So let's trying to think. So think through that. I'm not going to do all of them because I don't want to be on here all night. But you would do this for each one of your goals. And you would, even write out people. So for me, for example, I might want a foot model, knowing that I'm going to be going live at least twice a month And one of those lives is going to be focused on boots in particular. I'm going to want to bring in a foot model to do that live with me if I want to be the one doing content and not actually wearing the shoes or those kinds of things. So that is a thought that kind of crosses my mind. So I might want to put that on here, a foot model. Also knowing in order to achieve goal number 1, I am going to need a production team for content. I'm probably going to need a fulfillment schedule because if I'm moving this much product, heavy product, I might need some help and help for larger boxes. So that's just some of the stuff that I'm throwing out there, but I would break this down even more. You would do that for each one of your goals. So the most important part that I think many of you are going to want to know about this 4th quarter planning is your numbers. So for me, for example, my goal, my annual goal, so for the entire year, let's say I wanted to make $150,000. So let's just say that was the goal. And we are in quarter 4. So if I told you all that my goal for quarter 4, let's just say it was 50K, because it is. A lot of people, what they end up doing is they will take their annual goal and they'll just split it across all 4 quarters. So they'll say, you know, I want to make 35,000. I don't know what that is, but they'll say, I just want to make 35,000 each quarter. That's fine if that's what you want to do, but you have to recognize every quarter doesn't look the same. 4th quarter for me is heavy shopping. That's going to look way different than 1st quarter. So if I'm saying that my whole entire quarter is going to be my whole entire year, I want to make $150,000, then I'm going to break out my quarters according to what I believe is going to sell in those quarters. So if I'm thinking I'm going to make 50K in 4th quarter, or my goal is 50K in 4th quarter, then I might be saying, you know what, my goal for 1st quarter is 30K. People are going to spend a lot less because they're coming over the holiday hump. Many folks are going back to school, going back to work. They're shopping a lot less. But then I'm saying, but in quarter 2, I can make 45K because spring is happening. People are going on vacation. I sell bathing suits or whatever that is. You want to make sure that your goal for the quarter matches the way folks are shopping. Don't just split your money across all of the quarters equally if that doesn't make sense for your business. So month 1 for me is October. So I'm thinking October is going to be a pretty normal-ish month. So I'm going to say I'm going to make 15K. And then month 2 is November, heavy holiday. And I'm thinking I'm going to be able to make probably 25K. And then December, let's say 10K. And I'm not saying that that's going to be right, y'all. I'm throwing some numbers out there for the sake of time. I actually would probably switch October and November October and December, to be honest. I think I probably will make closer to, I'm actually already tracking over 10K in October. So I'll need to up that. I probably will get over the 50K mark if my plan goes well for my holiday sales. But let's just say, I think that's 50K altogether, 25, 35, 40, 50. Yeah. So let's just use these numbers for easy math. So now I've broken out my quarter. Now I am going to think about all of the things that are going to happen in that month for me to achieve that. So for October, saying I want to make 15K. So let's put October here. So in October, what's holiday sales, promotions, what's happening? So new fall styles drop. Probably going to celebrate a Halloween sale, Halloween season. Harvest time. Actually, harvest time is probably going to be more November. That's really it. And I probably could do some type of free shipping sale in October. So thinking that really I'm only going to probably do, if this many, 3 promotions of some sort. How am I going to bring in that income in other ways if it's not a sale? So thinking about journeys. So what a journey, so an email journey in particular is what I'm thinking about. So what a journey is you, excuse me, when somebody gets on your email list, you can send them through what we call a journey. So you might send them a welcome email, and then a day later you might say, hey, follow us on social media. And then another day the next day you might say, about us, did you know we sell X, Y, and Z? Then you might, after that, the fourth day, you might promote something to them. The cool thing about journeys is you can send people on a journey, and then based on what they do in that journey, you can send them into another journey. So what I'm thinking for October, I probably will, all new subscribers will go into the normal welcome journey, follow us on social media, who we are, and then I will probably promote new styles to them. And I'll probably put them in a 2 or 3 email journey of new styles. If they buy from one of those emails, they'll then go into another journey where they're getting introduced to maybe education around the shoes, other styles, that kind of thing. You want to be intentional about how you're contacting and reaching out to your audience, because if you simply send everybody blanket emails, new drop, new drop, new drop, they're not going to always like what you drop. 2, they're not going to always see or open those emails. And 3, you're just promoting new items. You're not becoming the expert or the go-to person in their field. I mean, in that industry, in that area. Now, some of us are very niche. We're in a very niche market. So for me, a new drop email could easily work, because most women in sizes 12 and 13, there are only 6 US-based stores. I'm one of them that consistently sell sizes 12 and 13. They don't have a lot of options. So could I get away with just blasting them with new style? Yes. But what does that do for the loyalty if I'm never rewarding them, if I'm never celebrating them, if I'm never talking to them aside from new drop? So I am going to use journeys throughout the month of October. And based on that journey, based on what folks, who purchases, who doesn't, those kind of things, then I'll create additional journeys to send them into other stuff. Also, you can do specific holiday sales for certain folks. So maybe you have VIP members who always buy with you on the holiday, and you want to do a super special sale for them. Maybe you have a list of sale shoppers. The only time they ever buy with you is when something is on sale. So instead of you constantly filling up their email all the time with all of these different emails, maybe you're always only sending thinking of you, new style, sale emails. You're being very intentional, because they're not going to shop full price. And it's sad to say, but there are customers, you will learn customers who are looking for you to run a sale. And I don't run a ton of sales. I do run more sales in third and fourth quarter than I do in first and second, but just because that's the nature of my business. Our anniversary is in September. I always restock in September, run sales in September, that kind of thing. And then October, November, and December are holiday season. So I like to celebrate my customers and make it easier and more beneficial for them to give gifts that I feel are great, which are my products. So that is one of the things to think about. So let's hop over. I would do this for each month as I think about what types of sales, events, things like that. Like if you're doing any type of pop-up shops or anything like that, you would want to put that into this box as well. If you're thinking about think about the types of drops you're doing. If you're service-based, what types of events are happening that you could be at or that people will need you for. So be realistic about what you're going to be able to accomplish with that. So with that said, I am going to hop over into another document, and I'm going to share another screen with you all. Okay. All right, so this sheet right here is my break even and projection sheet. So I use this sheet, actually I use it every month or anytime I get a new style in, I use it. But for now, we're gonna do a blanket for fourth quarter. So this first section, you fill in everything on this sheet that is gray. So this first section is going to be my overhead. Let me see if I can make this bigger, because that might be better for y'all too. Okay, so The first thing, let's say that I want to pay myself $1,000 a month. Let's say taxes are $150 a month. Phone bill is $40. I'm literally just putting in all of my costs. My internet is $40 a month. $15 in insurances. No licenses or permit. Let's say I want to run $5,000 worth of ads. Remember, I just said that I probably will up my budget to 10 for the quarter, 10 per month, but let's go with 5 for now because I can always toy around with that number a little later. My website hosting, let's say that's $30 a month. Don't need any of these. Let's say loan repayment. Let's say there's $410. No rent. Let's say $100 worth of utilities. Every month I spend about $20 on office supplies. Let's say there are $50 worth of subscription somewhere. And let's do $100 miscellaneous. So each month I have to have $6,955, period. No matter if I make a sale or not, my business costs me this every month. That's what overhead cost is. So you don't want to skip that. You want to look at that when you're planning. So the easiest way for me to figure out how do I get this and make money is I create break-even numbers. And I'm going to do it. So I went ahead and filled in a couple of things ahead of time. So I'm going to do it based on 4 products. I'm going to do it based on boots, heels, flats, and handbags. So let's say a boot costs me $32 to make. So that's the cost to me. Let's say the shipping box to the customer is $2. If I'm accruing that cost, let's say the thank you card is 90 cents. The dust bag is $1. Let's say labels cost 10 cents and paper costs 10 cents. So let's say that. So a boot actually cost me $36.10 to make. So all of these, I'm going to copy and paste these here because these are going to be the same numbers. The only thing that's going to change is going to be the style of shoe. So let's say if a boot costs me $32 to make, let's say a heel costs me $28 to make. And if a heel costs $28, let's say a flat costs me $25. I'm just throwing rough numbers out there for y'all. And then a handbag, let's say a handbag costs me $40 to, no, actually that's going to be kind of high. Let's say a handbag costs me $35 to make. So what happens is it automatically filters up here on this spreadsheet that I have as to what it costs, the full cost of everything. So just one product of each of these comes to $136.40 for each of these for me. So over here is my break-even sales per month. So what I would then do is I would put in here that I want to sell, let's say boots. Let's say I want to sell 100 pair of boots. And then I want to, wait, why is this not pulling? Uh-oh, this is empty. It should be pulling into here. Hold on. Hold on. It's not pulling in. Hold on, y'all. Let me go and I'm going to go and get another one. Because I want to make sure that the the actual formulas pull in. So give me 1 second, y'all. Sorry. Okay, let's see if that works. Okay, so now it's pulling in. Sorry, I had somehow deleted the formulas. So we're back. All right, so let's say I want to sell 100 boots. And I'm selling the boots. If they're costing me $36.10, let's say I'm selling them at $130. Let's say I want to sell 80 pairs of heels, and I'm selling those. I sell my heels around $98. Let's say I want to sell my flats. I want to sell 120 pair of flats, and let's say I'm selling those at $88. And let's say I want to sell 25 handbags, and I'm selling those at $100. So that's quite a bit of product, though. That's a lot of products when you think about it for a month. So this is 1 month. This is not untypical for me. Handbags will be new, but that means that I would make $16,000 If this number were negative, so let me show you something. If I only sold 20 pair of boots, 10 pair of heels, 15 flats, and 12 handbags. You see how that number went negative? That means that, because remember, this was accounted for in that this $6,955, because that's what I need whether I make sales or not, then I would be negative $2,803.70. So this is why it's important for you to do your break even numbers, because you want to know at minimum, what do I need to sell to break even and start making a profit? So let's say I want to sell 40 pairs of boots, 20 pairs of heels, 15 flats, and 20 handbags. So if with these numbers, I would profit $220.50. Remember, if we go back and look at, I would have to reshare my screen, but remember my goal was $50,000 for the quarter. And if I'm thinking I'm going to make 10 grand, I want to make 10 grand in October, this isn't going to make me 10 grand. I need to push these numbers to where I can make 10 grand. So let's say 50 boots, let's say 50 heels, 40 flats, and 30 handbags. Still not gonna be enough. So let's double some stuff. Let's do 100 pairs of boots. And remember, your numbers might look different based on your products. Heels probably won't sell as well. So let's do 80 pairs of boots. Let's do 40 heels. And let's say flats are gonna do pretty well. Let's say we're gonna sell 74 pair of flats. Close. I'm close to making the 10 grand that I want to make. So maybe if I realize, once I get here, you know what, I'm going to actually need to sell 33 handbags. Actually more than that, let's say I'm going to have to sell 36 handbags. I can't count, y'all. Let's just do 40. Okay, let's say I'm going to have to sell 40. Whatever. Yeah. So let's say I'm going to have to sell 41 handbags. Like, let's say you only had 80 pairs of shoes, 80 pairs of boots. That's all you had. And you want to make this 10 grand. So you budgeted 80 pairs of boots, 40 heels, 74 flats. Then you would know that you would need 41 handbags based on your price or whatever that is. Your numbers might not be this big. You might want to make $5,000 a month. And then you could adjust, whatever your products are to reach that. So this is a break-even spreadsheet. I use this weekly and monthly to look at my numbers and also what I want to do when I launch new products. And then there's a second tab on here. I won't get into this too much, but this is revenue projections for the entire year. So it pulls from that original sheet. So anything I put in there would transfer over to here. So let's get back to the planning. I am going to open back up the other tab and show it in the stream. All right. So let's finish out how I plan the quarter. So after I do, so that was the know your numbers. After I do each month, so then I would do that same thing for November. I would see what holidays. So we all know, for example, Black Friday, Black Business Saturday. We know Cyber Monday and Thanksgiving all happen in November. So you would put those, if those are the ones you participate in. You might not participate in every single holiday, and that's fine too. So you would put all the holidays that you're thinking about participating in. You might put what sales you might do. So let's say on Black Friday, you might want to do a 50% off sale. Let's say Black Business Saturday. We might be thinking of doing a buy one, get one, 50 half off, because half off sounds better with BOGO than 50%. So also y'all want to learn stuff around language around promotion and stuff like that. And maybe on Cyber Monday, you're doing 40% off. And then, Thanksgiving would have been right after Black Friday. And run up against Black Business Saturday. But maybe for Thanksgiving, you also wanted to do all clearance, additional 30% off. So you want to make sure that you account for these sales. So you're going to want to put these numbers in there. So like I was just on that break even sheet, when I was on that sheet, had I said I want to make 10 grand, but I know for 24 hours, I'm going to do a 50% off sale. You're going to want to go back and look at your numbers after you run that 50% off sale and adjust your count to account for how many you'll need to sell at the remainder, with whatever days you have left. So you're constantly going to be tweaking, which is why it's important for you to plan ahead. Because if you don't plan ahead, instead of tweaking, you'll be guns a-blazing, headache, like I don't know what to do. But if you put something in place ahead of time and it goes astray, or it doesn't go as well as you thought, you can pivot. You have capacity. When you don't do that, you don't have capacity to pivot or shift. You just end up in this frenzy. So that's why that's important to know, because you can account for your sales. So if the 50% off sale went really great, and then the next day you're going to do this 30% off sale, then you're going to do Cyber Monday or whatever, you're going to have 4 promotions that month, then you might only want to do those 4 promotions. You don't want to do any other discounts in the month of November, simply because you need to get to that amount of money without losing out on profit or inventory. Another good thing to do sometimes in November, because of holiday shopping, is to push inventory you've been trying to move for a while. Always a good idea to put that on sale, to give some type of incentive, because folks are looking for really great gifts. Ultimately, from small businesses, 91% of shoppers actually like to shop with small businesses or folks who create custom and loving experiences during the holiday season. So that's something to keep in your back pocket. So you would do that same thing for December as well. In the book, there's another little sheet as well, if you purchase this document, where you can write out each product and service that you have, the sale price, how many units you have, and how much money you'll make from each product. And that's another way you can throw that into that break-even sheet, because it's going to be important if you're selling multiple products to know how they'll do. And then also that helps you adjust as needed when you move into selling long-term for your or when you start ordering additional products or things, when you know what sells well, what doesn't sell well until it's sale time, how many of something to order, that kind of thing, very, very helpful for you. And then the last thing that I do is I create a physical action plan where I write out each month on a calendar. And you don't have to do this. I just think, hold on, I see a question. Is this something you can share or have recommendation of a good template we can use? So actually, if you're on my email list, which all of you should be, I can definitely send you this template that I have. This is a free resource that I give to folks who I coach with. So I will send that out to you all. This template that I use. All right. Where was I at? Oh, I was on the presentation. So I always create an action plan because I like to see stuff laid out. It gets executed way better for me if it's all written and laid out. And it's easier for me to cross stuff out and adjust if needed when I do it that way. So I put everything that I planned out beforehand onto a calendar. And then sometimes I don't always break it down by priority tasks, but sometimes I'll prioritize certain tasks. Especially, I often do this around new product launches, because new product launches for me are super, super important. The way I put a product out determines how it will sell. Oftentimes people think they can just put a product out, and because they put it out, people are going to buy it. No, there's so much that goes around marketing it, presentation, timing. You don't want to launch stuff too close together, those kind of things, especially as a smaller, newer business. So then I also write down a focus area for each week. So this has 4 pages for 4 weeks in a month. And I write down a priority task and what I'm going to prioritize on whatever day of the week that is. And then at the end of this sheet, I always celebrate myself because that keeps me motivated. I imagine that would keep all of you motivated. So I recommend that you do a sheet or something somewhere at the end of each month where you celebrate the things, the goals that you actually achieved, the things that went well, the pivots you were able to make, all of those things. And then create a mantra for yourself for every quarter. So I create a mantra for myself every quarter. This quarter's mantra, honestly, y'all, is make money. Like, that's my mantra, make money. My goal is that because I'm doing this 60-day DIY, because I'm putting all of me into my business, I want to be paid for it. because I want to be able, one of the things I think about is I want to be able to pay people their worth. And one of the biggest ways for me to know how to pay people their worth is for me to do the job, to see what the job is worth, to see what somebody's expertise is worth. Because I don't want to lowball people when I start to hire my team at the top of the year. I want to be in a position where folks, it's a no-brainer that the best of the best are going to work with me. So that is what I'm doing. My mantra this quarter is make money, because every single day I have been touching my business, and it is a lot of work when you are a technician doing everything. So the last piece, feel free to drop any questions you might have into the comments. The last piece of this, now that I have gotten done kind of walking you all through how I plan my quarter, this is only one part of how I plan. This is the major key of how I plan, but I have a couple of other things that I also do. So I want to also share with you all one other thing, and I am going to do that now. All right. So I totally have a question for y'all. Hopefully it's kind of moving a little slow on my end. Okay. All right. So I have a question for all of you. So my question for you is simply this: did I bring you any type of value today? Did you learn something? Please feel free to drop that in the comments for me. Did you learn a technique, a task, something that you didn't think about? Are you excited now to plan your fourth quarter? Do you now have some different perspective? Is there anything that kind of sparked something for you? Please let me know that in the comments, because I will do more of these kind of work alongs with you all if they're valuable, if you all feel like this is something I should be spending my time on, being able to see how I do things on the back end. If your answer to this is yes, you brought value, I have a special offer to help you go even further this quarter without the overwhelm. Because what I went through today was just one document, and that's just you sitting silently in a room, writing out what you need to do, and then taking each of those steps and executing it. So, if you wrote out that you need to create an email journey for your customers around the holiday, then you go over to the your email CRM system and create that offer for them. So I have two choices for you today. The first choice is going to be a bundle option, and it has so much value, but you're kind of going to be on your own. And then the second choice requires a little higher of an investment, but in exchange, I devote more resources and face-to-face time with you. So I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to jump right into it right now. So I have something called a holiday preparation bundle. And what you're going to get my holiday sales guide. Y'all, this is 30 pages of me literally telling you what to put in your emails, me telling you what to put on your social media, me telling you what holidays, like figure out what holidays you want to promote. Here's how you promote them. Me showing you and giving you tips on how to put graphics out there that go with each email, that go with each promotion, that go with each post. I have a holiday sales guide. It's actually valued at $349. You will not have to pay that today. This is me in my mini warehouse. I have a house warehouse. That's so funny. I have an in-home warehouse where this was me in September. I restocked my entire warehouse so that I could move forward with being prepared to sell out for this quarter. And I'm super excited to tell you I am on track to do that. I told you I restocked in September, sold out a good chunk of this inventory in September just from my my anniversary sale alone. So I'm gonna read some of these comments that you all put in here. Yes, I need to really take planning seriously. When I tell you, if you plan it out, the reward is gonna be so great. Y'all, I sat back basically all of September, aside from when I had to restock my inventory. I sat back and watched the money roll in. I was making money in my sleep. Yes, learned so much, got me thinking even more of how to manage my business. Very valuable information. So glad. I like the journey aspect of emailing. Yes, that's going to change the game for your customers. And you move from annoying to intentional. And then your whole process was good. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. So I want to share with you that my genius zone is business basics. That's it. I am the person, I'm going to break it down to you as simple as I can break it down to you. That is what I am good at. I help people, particularly women entrepreneurs, make money in their businesses. That's just it. I'm going to tell you, don't do this. Do this. Here's how to do this. Here's how to write it. Here's how to share it. I am not the person that likes to give you the runaround with stuff. I'm going to put it in there where you can see it, where you can feel it, where you can touch it, just like we just did this transparent presentation of how you saw how I execute and plan my quarter. I do this in real life. This is what I do with all of my clients. So if you get this holiday preparation bundle, not only do you get the holiday sales guide valued at $349, you also are going to get my Facebook ads checklist, which is valued at $199. This walks you through how to build a Facebook ad, a proper Facebook ad to reach your perfect and ideal client. You don't want to miss it. That's valued at $548. You will not pay that, of course. Then I'm also not going to stop there. I added into this bundle my social media content calendar. This is 12 months, a 12-month calendar that shows you all the holidays that are out there, helps you think through and put together all of the posts that you should be making, when you should be making them, and putting them out there. This is valued at $349. That's what I sell it for, $349 for you to get my social media calendar, which this total value for this package is $897. But I don't stop there. You're not going to pay that. I was thinking, what else might these entrepreneurs need? Like, seriously, if they're, really trying to make money in their fourth quarter, they're really trying to create they want to use a content calendar that's going to give them all the answers and resources they need for their social media. They have the go-to, the checklist on how to make a Facebook ad that's profitable. What else do they need? So I decided to add a bonus. My first bonus is the Free Your Mind workbook. This is a $39 workbook that I created that helps you just literally think about how to properly sit down and do business. This is so important. A lot of people skip over mindset and think, oh, well, you know what? If I just put it out there, people will come. No, you have to put yourself in a mindset to win. Before I do anything, I put myself in a mindset to win. Simply setting a goal is a mindset to win. Being able to attach work ethic to a goal is you putting your mind in the right place. I'm going to give that to you for free, which takes the value of this bundle to $936. But of course, you're not going to pay that. The second bonus I'm going to give you is how to build an email list from scratch guide. So I believe it's a 15-page guide, and it literally walks you through. I have 3 steps on how you can increase your email list by anywhere from 500 to 2,000 people organically, meaning it doesn't cost you any money. I sell that for $99. I threw it into this bundle because I thought that would be helpful for you all. And then, of course, I had to add a final bundle bonus. And this bonus is my social media content calendar guide. So for those of you who don't want to just do it on your own, you don't want to just walk through the social media content calendar, I also have a guide that I sell where I actually have put in place, here's how you use this. Here are the steps that you take to walk through this. And I show you everything that you need to do to make it happen. So remember, you are going to get the holiday sales guide, which is literally me giving you all the things. I even put email titles. Here's how you title this email. Here's what you put in it. I have the Facebook ads checklist, the social media content calendar, and 3 bonuses: the Free Your Mind workbook, the How to Build an Email List from Scratch guide, and the social media content calendar guide. All of these are valued at $1,134. But I want you to think about this. Would it be worth it if that bundle alone, if all it did was finally help you start organizing your business so you can stop working nonstop? Would it then be worth it? Would you spend that kind of money? If it helped you build a profitable rinse and repeat business that would allow you to stop stressing about money, would it then be worth it? If it just allowed you to make money while you sleep or do the work that fuels you, would it then be worth it? Would it be worth $1,134 for all of these things to happen for you? What is your business and your passion worth to you? Take a second and think about that. Would you pay 5 grand, 10, 20 grand? How much would you pay to get that kind of freedom in your business? Guess what? I put all of that whole bundle that's worth $1,100. I wrapped it into a package for you today for just $49. That's it. $49 is all you would pay today, and you would get all of those things. And this deal is only live for 24 hours, just so that you all know. You will not see this again. I am not, like when I tell you how I'm giving mad value, I'm giving mad value. It's a big deal for that to happen. So I want you all to know that. And I just, sorry, I put that on the screen by accident. So I just actually pushed the link for you all. I just pushed it to you all for you all to be able to purchase that. If you would like to purchase that bundle, the link should be now in the comments. If you don't see it in the comments, feel free to let me know, but it should be in the comments for you all. Somebody said, send me the invoice. I just actually, you don't even have to be invoiced. The cool thing about this is that it is literally, it's a immediate download. If you buy it today, the link that I just dropped in there, you will pay right then and there, and it's going to come to you in an email. All of it's coming in one bundle in a folder file for you. So if you have questions, I'm going to go back through the comments. I'm so grateful to have shared time with you all today. Super, super grateful. For those that are wondering, yes, I will share that break-even spreadsheet in an email to you all. This was very helpful to know. It brought value because it took off some of the worry about keeping track of money. That sheet is so helpful. Inventory, investing, setting goals, and more. Setting goals and achieving them. Yes, really great. Perfect, perfect. Well, I hope that you all enjoyed this. I am going to see if I can send it out to you all as well in an email so that you all have access to the replay since you joined live. And with that being said, I am going to log off because I don't think I see any other questions, but feel free to email me should you have questions, but I'm sure I'll be in you all's inbox within the next 24 hours to drop that break-even spreadsheet and to follow up with those of you that need it. I'm not that far in business yet, but this is a good offer. No worries, no worries. It's never too early to start planning though. Always remember, you can start planning your ideas for your quarters ahead of time. And the bundle is it says holiday preparation, but you don't have to use it for just fourth quarter. If any of you are still looking to launch in like top of the year or whatever, you can adjust it to use those holidays or those whatever kind of specials you want to run at that time as well too. So great, so great. Well, I hope you all have a really wonderful evening. I am going to hop off. Thank you for sharing time and space with me today. And I look forward to potentially hearing from some of you on how great your planning went. Please, 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 if you enjoyed this, leave a review on Facebook. You can even just make a status on your own page if you thought that this was great. I love seeing what people thought of stuff. So I appreciate y'all. Have a good night.